The evidence seems to indicate that you're watching Dolly Vision.
Dolly Vision streaming real. True crime scene blast feel so unreal. YouTube madness, like, share, subscribe. Chat's on fire, burning the world fire. Where's the baby missing shadows crawl? People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlines, King of Peace. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shining, echoes in the night. Mock the truth while live on their light. Topping up, Dolly Vision streaming real. True crime scene blast feels so unreal. YouTube madness, like, share, subscribe. Chat's on fire, burning the world's fire. Where's the baby missing shadows crawl? People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlines, King of Peace. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shining, echoes in the night. Mock the truth while live on their light.
Good morning, my beautiful people. It is good to see you guys up bright and early, joining me for some coffee and true crime. That's what it's about. Today, this morning, we're going to be shooting the shit a little bit, talking about Karen Read. Y'all remember that lady? She likes to drive down the street backwards. So if you ever see a car going in reverse, probably, somewhere between 20, 30 miles an hour, it's probably her. But first, guys, of course, since you're here and you're awake this morning and you're all jacked up on that coffee, I'm going to need you to leave your DNA all over the like button, okay? All over it, just in case you die in a blizzard, okay? Dolly going to have to come dig you out. I'm going to need your DNA on file. Also, if you're brand new and you're looking at me like, who the hell is this ugly dude? I'm Dolly. Okay, I'm Dolly. Sub up the damn channel and ring the bell for notifications. Okay. So anyway, let's jump right into it, because to me, this is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. So, the last trial for Karen Read, it ended in a mistrial. It was, the prosecutor kind of sucked. He wasn't doing his job. He was kind of boring. He couldn't keep the attention of nobody. Okay. I mean, he bored me into a damn coma. I was ready to be like, free Karen Read. I was about to get me buy a shirt from Turtleboy. But the new prosecutor, Hank Brennan, we like to call him around here, we call him Hank the Tank. He has been smashing and running people down. And it looks like this trial is going to be a brand new trial where it seems like Karen Read is going to be on trial for murder. Unlike the last trial where it looked like, the police were on trial for murdering John O'Keefe, right? Because of the big conspiracy, house long to die in the cold, the dog bites, the Apple healthcare data, the ARCA, all those things. But now things have changed a lot now, but there's some weird stuff going on in the Karen Read trial, because jury is expected to be in 4 days. They start picking the jury for the new Karen Read trial, and it's expected to take possibly up to a month, okay, to pick the jury. So we're just going to push the trial date back a little bit later than we thought, but I'm still going to be there, right? I'm still going to be there just to give me time to cover the Lori Vallow case that's going on. Doomsday Mother, right? Doomsday Mother. Oh, and right over here, I've been working on new merch all night tonight, right? So I got a whole bunch of new merch coming to the merch store. Lotions, soaps, body washes, new t-shirts. We're going to have a whole true crime section. We got tumblers coming, hats, all kinds of new stuff for Dolly Vision. So make sure if you get a chance, check out the merch store. Anyway, Dolly got to eat, okay? Dolly got to eat too. I got to keep these lights on. So I always stay on the grind. Like my man Hank the Tank, on the grind, okay? So anyway, you know, the last jury was picked, and they, you know how they have alternates for the jury. And one of the alternates was, believe it or not, an attorney. So this alternate was one of the alternates picked for the Karen Read jury last trial. Now this alternate, which is a lawyer from Massachusetts, has joined the Karen Read team. Okay, join the Karen Read team. And a lot of experts are saying, well, this person has an inside source of how the last jury was thinking about the evidence, right? And I thought to myself, who cares? Who cares? This ain't the same trial as the last trial. Everything that was in the last trial has already been debunked. You know, now Hank the Tank has crushed the dog bite expert, the doctor, made her look stupid. They're bringing in Dr. Wolf, right? The house law to die in the cold has been debunked. They got a better versions of how the accident happened, more proof. They bringing in, they got the messages between Karen Read and Turtleboy. To me, this is a whole brand new trial. So even if you was on the jury last trial, okay, and you went back there and you deliberated, I still don't think you can help Karen Read in this case. I honestly don't, especially if you wasn't back there while they were deliberating on all the evidence, which this jury member was just an alternate, so they won't. So what really could they bring? Now, they have been out speaking already to Vanity Fair, talking about, you know, they thought that the prosecution was trying to railroad Karen Read. Just a Karen Read simp, right? Just a Karen Read simp. You know, the night before last, we talked a lot about the buffer zone in this whole situation to keep idiots away from the courthouse like Turtleboy and all his little groupies and bingo moms that drank way too much Kool-Aid. I'm just kidding, people. Listen, I don't care if you support Karen Read. It ain't a big deal to me. Justice is going to be served either way. If you support her, don't serve her. Somebody is going to be right this time, right? And I believe if it ends in a mistrial this time, they will not retry Karen Read a third time. I do not believe that will happen. So if she is found innocent or a mistrial, then you guys have got what y'all wanted. Y'all have got free Karen Read, right? But I don't really get the free Karen Read signs because Karen Read is technically free. She ain't in jail. She's living in a 5-star hotel eating food while she tells you to skip a meal so you can donate to her while she's living the best life, wearing $3,000 outfits, okay? Gucci purses, Versace, right? Stuff most of us don't even know about, okay? Most of us don't even know that type of stuff. She's living that good life, right? She thinks she's a rock star, Bon Jovi, on top of the world, not upset about the death of John O'Keefe. But she says, you know, that she's trying to get justice for John O'Keefe. But at this point, it ain't about John. It's about her and her freedom, okay? But I just feel like Hank the Tank is the man, and he is on a mission with a plan, and he is going to mow them down. I have a feeling they think this trial is going to go the same way it went last time. And I believe that is where they're making a huge mistake, okay? But we're going to jump over to Court TV real quick, listen to this video, because they can explain what's going on just a little bit better than I can. And then, of course, we'll come back and we will talk about it. Let me share this video with you guys real fast.
Multiple agencies reporting, and we have actually located the docket too as well. They have added a new attorney, it appears, on the Karen Read defense team. And what is fascinating about this new attorney was a member of the jury in Karen Read 1. She ended up being an alternate in this case.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. The jury. Who cares? Who really cares? It ain't going to make a difference. This is a new trial. This ain't the same trial, right? I know all these people are thinking it's the same trial, but it's not. It's going to be totally different. There's a new prosecutor. They better bring in more lawyers than that to go up against Hank the Tank, because he is absolutely crushing Alan Jackson, Yannetti, right? Hank is a one-man wrecking ball, and that's what he's been doing. Of course, they're going to bring in molds of Chloe's teeth. Free Chloe! Free Chloe! Okay? So, you know, all these people blaming this dog, all that's going to be debunked. The dog experts are going to be debunked. You know, we have the Lexus data coming in, all kinds of stuff that points to Karen Read. You remember Karen Read tried to hide her car at her dad's house, went to John's house, deleted the video, said, could I hit him? Did I hit him? Maybe I hit him. Then she said, I didn't say it. And then in her new documentary, she says, you know, could I hit him in my drunken stupor? And she confessed to being drunk. Now, Karen Read is basically doing herself in, okay? As a lawyer, I don't know what Yannetti and Alan Jackson, he was too busy banging her to worry about if, you know, what she was saying on this documentary, allegedly. You know, Dolly Vision's for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, theories, mixed with a little bit of comedy. So don't take nothing here as fact. It's just my opinion and straight satire. So, and everyone is innocent to proven guilty in a court of law. That even means Karen Read, okay? Innocent to proven guilty. But her day is for sure coming.
But can you imagine? She was a licensed attorney, licensed in Massachusetts. She sat through the entire Karen Read case. She has made public statements to WBZ and others saying that she was disgusted by the Commonwealth.
And of course, like Lexi Texie said, don't try to be Dolly at home. It's dangerous. Your head could explode.
During the case, ends up being an alternate, and now they brought her onto the team apparently, and talk about a move that could really yield dividends. I mean, you're talking about a person that knows the case from a juror standpoint, and also
who cares? I mean, I know it from everybody out here watched the trial just like that person did, right? But this is a new trial. Unless the ladies, you might as well hire a fucking psychic. Does this person know the future? Does this person know the future? That's what I want to know. Okay, because if this person don't know the future, and this person never seen Hank the Tank, throw down, right? They ain't seen Hank throw down yet. So to me, unless you can predict the future, you can bring out the whole fucking jury, the old jury. They're not the jury this trial. Put them all on her team. Pay them all. Have all fucking 12 of them sitting there. I don't think it's going to make that much difference. The evidence is the evidence.
on attorneys.
Yes, the knowledge that she would bring to the defense team is humongous. She would have a lot to say.
How is it humongous? Unless she's damn Donna Rever Serafina, the psychic on YouTube. How is it even, why does it even matter? This is a whole new trial. This ain't a continuation of the old trial. This is a brand new trial. Do these people not understand it? I think a lot of these channels, they simp for Karen Read, right? They done got swept up in this whole, it's the cool thing to do stuff. But I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. I see a conviction coming is what I see. That's what I see happening. I'm just saying, that's my opinion. I'm allowed to have it. I'm allowed to have an opinion. If you believe she's innocent, you can believe she's innocent. I ain't saying you can't, okay? I ain't telling you what to think. I'm just telling you guys this morning what I think. I don't think it's going to make a big difference because this is a brand new trial, brand new jurors. You don't know how the new jurors are going to think, right? You don't know how Hank the Tank's going to present this evidence, right? Because we seen the last prosecutor, he didn't know shit. Hank the Tank's been crushing, right? That's why Karen Read's got her head on a swivel looking backwards the whole time, because Hank is just mowing shit down.
A lot to offer. Now, when you take a look at this, and it seems that from the reports that she has been added, there are some questions in regard to this. A lot of law review journals have been written about this. What are ethical considerations when a former juror, I should say, goes and joins a defense team? Could they sit on that jury and maybe say, we want a mistrial, we want a hung jury, and then eventually they join the defense team and they get paid? So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, what if they had, this lawyer had some communication or was trying to get on this team from the start? That's why they tried to be a juror in the first one. It don't really matter though, because that person never really was a juror, just an alternate, just in case a juror fell out. So it had no play in the hung jury either way. But in the beginning, that person did get to hear what they were talking about. You ain't supposed to talk about it, but people talk, right? So, they're staying in the same hotels, they're having, eating together and stuff like that. So this person will have a little input on what the old jury thought, but this trial is going to be presented different. The last trial was like the police were on trial, okay? They were trying to blame, Proctor and all that stuff. This time it looks more like, even in the lead up to this, Karen Read is on trial this time, right? Karen Read is on trial this time, and it's going to be a different game, okay? There's a different point scorer on. They got Michael Jordan. Okay, they got the Michael Jordan of prosecutions. That's what they don't understand. He's going to take it to boom from the free throw line, right?
Know what her compensation would be if she is getting compensation for joining the defense team. She is a practicing attorney, so I would assume she is getting paid. But it's a really interesting and big development because of the knowledge that she would bring to the defense team.
And she has been very outspoken. She has been speaking with WBZ among others, and basically saying that she distrusts this prosecution, the Commonwealth's prosecution of Karen Read, and she was part of that panel. But she was bounced. She was an alternate.
Well, Proctor was acting unprofessional, right? He said things he shouldn't have said. That don't mean Karen Read didn't do it. That just means that Proctor wasn't the best guy for the job, right? He's a little unprofessional in the way he does things, but that don't mean the evidence still don't point to Karen Read, that she admits to having 6 drinks that were doubles, okay? And that, she could have hit him in her drunkenness, and he hit his leg and fell and couldn't move. And, she said something about pulling the glass out of his face. Basically, talked about John's mother, talked like she didn't even care about John. And you would think, people see her behavior and how they can condone it, and how women can condone this blows my mind, right? For all them women out there, I hope a man, for the women that support Karen Read, I hope a man does you the same way Karen Read was doing John O'Keefe, okay? Because that's what each and every one of them people deserve, that are out there booing his mother, out there simping for Karen Read. I hope a man treats you the same way that Karen Read treated John O'Keefe. John O'Keefe was a good man. He's a good dude. Police officer, adopted his niece and his nephew, taking him in as his own kids. That man damn near a saint. Ended up hooking up with a crazy ass woman everybody acts like, oh, well, she ain't crazy. Look at her eyes. She's like, she could be Ted Bundy's sister. This bitch is so crazy. It blows my mind. Dolly, don't say that. No, it's true, because karma is real in this world, and I believe in it. Okay. So you go out there and you cheer for this lady and you do all that stuff. It's coming back to bite you in the ass. If Karen didn't do anything, then you shouldn't have to worry about me saying, I hope that stuff happens to you. Because some of y'all feel like Karen didn't do nothing. So if she didn't do nothing, then nothing will happen to you. But if she did, and your man goes and cheats or tries to sleep with your friend, I don't want to hear no crying from you. I don't want to hear no crying from you. I'm just saying. Okay, don't like the kids cheating on you, crazy fighting, won't leave your house. Unbelievable.
So she didn't deliberate with the rest of the panel. Jeffrey Wolf is watching along with us. He's a criminal defense attorney in Denver, Colorado. Jeffrey, what do you make of this? That this ex-juror sounds like she's going to be joining the Karen Read defense team for Karen Read 2.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like I may be having some difficulties here with my video, but this is an incredibly unique perspective that this defense team is going to be able to get from this juror, because this.
Lynette, thank you for being a member for 24 months. So all these people, I don't know where they find these experts on court TV. The juror wasn't even back there when they were deliberating. So what the hell does the juror know? Right? And this is like, do y'all realize this is a new trial? A brand new one. This ain't a replay of the last trial. If the lawyer was like, yeah, I was on the jury and I'm a psychic, I can see what's coming, then I'd be like, okay. But Hank Brennan is carrying himself way different than the last prosecutor, just from his opening statements. Okay, it's a totally different vibe. They're pushing the people farther back. If you get some people in there that ain't simps, right? That ain't simping, because I guess that's the cool thing to do. They got, free Kool-Aid in Massachusetts. But if you ain't drink that Kool-Aid and you go in there with an open mind, Karen Read will get convicted. But then again, it only takes one simp to infiltrate that jury and she's walking free. But to me, it won't make a difference. If she gets free, I can live with it, right? Because I know money in this world can buy your freedom. I've been known that. We've known that since OJ, right? We've known that. So am I saying it's impossible that she could not walk? It's possible she could walk, right? And I won't care. I'll be glad that it's over with either way. But I hope there's justice for John O'Keefe. And if she walks, it's just she bought her way out of this, and justice will never be served for John O'Keefe. Then it ain't like they're going to go arrest the police. There's no evidence that the police ever did nothing to John O'Keefe. People, and I agree on some things with the Karen Read supporters that the investigation could have been handled maybe a little bit better. But I think they did the best they could for what they were working with. And, they were in a blizzard. They didn't have nothing to put the blood in, which is just John's blood. So really, there's not like he wasn't murdered. Okay. Like these people want to, where's the trail of blood from the house to the body? Okay. Where's the trail of blood? If they carried John out with a split open head, bit up by a dog, bleeding, why ain't there no blood trail from the house to where John was? Why is the blood just where he laid? There's no blood nowhere else. Because he was hit, he hit the ground, he laid there and he bled and he died. That's why there ain't no blood, because there was never no crime inside the house. His GPS on his phone says he was never inside of that house. Karen Read's taillight pieces are embedded in his clothing. She has a broken taillight. She tried to hide her car at her daddy's house. She deleted the tape. Okay, the expert's going to show that the way she backed into the car wouldn't even have broke the taillight. You had John's DNA on the bumper of the car. Now tell me, you know, have you ever scratched your head on a bumper? Right? That's how silly these people are that support Karen Read. And basically, most of them are alcoholics. Okay? It's a bunch of alcoholics simping for this lady. You ever scratched? You trying to tell me you ain't never scratched your head on a bumper? Like, dude, I don't know. Like, I know you ate lead paint as a kid, baby Gap, but I ain't never scratched my head on no bumper for my DNA to be on a bumper of a car. Okay? I got 5 vehicles out there. You can go do a DNA test on all 5 of my cars. I guarantee you ain't going to find my hair or my DNA on the bumper of my car. Okay? That shit is insane. That they will say anything, right? Anything, and they'll go deaf when it's something against Karen Read. It just, for some reason, it boggles my mind. Teresa says she is guilty as sin, in my opinion. Okay. Good morning, sweet sugar. Sweet as sugar. I believe so too. But it's up to a jury. It's not up to me. I don't make the decision if she goes free or not. I just hope the people that go in there, they keep an open mind. They listen to the evidence, and they don't get all hung up on everybody in Massachusetts is corrupt. That's what they want to push. And most of these people ain't even from that area, right? They're not even from Denham. They're not even from Canton. They're from all over the place, and they're verging in on there because, you know, the Kool-Aid's sweet. It blows my mind. Just blows my mind.
Who, even though she was an alternate and wasn't in the deliberations, she is someone who was privy to how the jurors were thinking about the case throughout the case. Because as much as judges tell jurors, don't discuss the case during the case, I think we all...
Yeah, but it's an old case there, Mr. Gap Tooth. Okay? Your teeth look like a damn... You've been chewing rocks. Oh, my God. You got teeth like damn T-Rev over here.
All know that they do. I don't think that we are able to assume that they are.
See how big that gap is between his teeth? You could drive a damn Mack truck between that gap. This ain't the same trial, dude. Okay? Mr. Expert, you know it's a new trial, right? New trial, new prosecutor. The evidence ain't the same. You know, yeah, Proctor's going to look bad because he said bad things about her, about the nudes. He's going to look unprofessional. We know that's coming. Okay, he's been fired. They're going to use that he's been fired. But that don't change the evidence. Baby Gap teeth. Now, I think his teeth will work. I don't know. Baby Gap got some snaggly ass teeth, right? This dude got some gapped up ass teeth. You could hear the wind blowing through his teeth. The Talking Dead, did she mark her jury slip that she was a lawyer? I remember you have to check if you have law enforcement. That's where Hank should look that up. And I agree, she is guilty in my opinion, says the Talking Dead. Well, I think she's the Walking Dead, the Talking Dead. I mean, you know, if she goes to prison, she's going to be in prison for the rest of her life. At her age, you know, she gets 40 years. She'll never get out. Okay, I can't wait to see her with cornrows and wearing orange. Pink is the new orange. But I could be wrong. You know, it's just my opinion. Just my opinion. You know, I think they got enough, though. I think they got enough.
Are never talking about the case throughout the pendency of the case. And so this person is somebody who knows what the jurors thought of the evidence the first time around, who knows inside and out, like you said, the case itself, because she's already sat through the evidence. And I don't think that there's necessarily an ethical consideration as to...
I sat through the evidence. Are they going to hire me? Okay, I'll be on her team for the right amount of money. Let's see. They paid Arca, what, $23,000? Give me a 20K. Give me 20K. I'll be on Team Karen Read. I'll tell you what to say. I'm better than your Nettie. All right. I'm better than Alan Jackson. I don't know. I kind of like the little lady. She ain't bad. You know what I'm saying? She ain't bad. But the rest of their team, man, and the nerdy guy. Oh my God, the nerdy guy will put you to sleep. He's like Borefest.
what she may have done to affect the first trial's outcome, because she wasn't in deliberations to cause the mistrial with the hung jury. She didn't sit in that deliberation room and cause a mistrial through a hung jury, because she wasn't in there. As an alternate juror, you don't sit in and basically make it so that a verdict doesn't come out of that room.
I know. So what does that mean? She didn't hear them deliberate, right? She don't know what they were saying. She don't know, right? She has her opinion, and it sounds like she had her opinion before she was even a jury member. That's the bad thing. Is they gotta get these simps the hell up off the jury. They need a fair jury, not somebody that comes in already and thinks the system is corrupt. That right there, she's going to walk. Thank God she wasn't a jury member.
She just wouldn't have been in there. And so this is.
And guys, if you're just tuning in, make sure you hit the like on this video right now. I'm talking to you. I'm looking at you. Hold, look, let me blow this up so y'all see me. I'm looking right at you right there. I see you, talking to you. It's all early in the morning. Ain't nothing changed. You ain't brand new. Hit that like button. And then once you do, don't cheat. I'm watching you. Shout out where you're watching my ugly face from. Okay. Don't be cheating. I want to see that get up to at least, what do we got? 567 people this morning. A lot of people still in bed, huh? Or they went to work. So I'm going to need you guys to hit the like button. She'll probably get away with murder. Maybe, maybe. Don't do Dolly dirty. There you go, Rose. Tell him, don't do me like that. Oh, hell no. All right. I got up early for this. Really, I was up. I ain't been to bed yet. Well, I slept most of the day yesterday. That's why I wasn't live. And, so I haven't been to bed yet. I'm going to bed here in just a little bit. Crash out till PJ gets off of work. Then I got a bunch of stuff to do. So I'm off work for a few weeks. I bet you're glad. Arizona's in the house. Michigan's in the house. Middle Tennessee. OHIO, right? Tennessee. More Ohio. Colorado's in the house. Crime cons in Colorado this year. I don't know if I'm going to go. F them people. They don't want Dolly. Dolly don't want to go. Massachusetts. There you go. Watch out for Karen Read backing up in reverse. Get on that jury. Convict this woman. Northern Virginia. Hey, Dolly. Morning, Dolly. Kentucky, Florida, Texas, Virginia, Warren, Ohio. We got a lot of Ohio with us this morning. Good to see Hershey, Pennsylvania. I got to visit Hershey, Pennsylvania. Go to Hershey Park this last summer. Had a good time. It was a nice place. Central New York, Wisconsin, Illinois, Chesapeake. Okay, Jimmy K. My neighbor. About 30 minutes from Canton. Okay, D Green. Missouri, Northern Cali, Michigan, Indiana, or Ontario, Maine, more Indiana. All right, cool, guys. Good to see all y'all this morning. Good morning. I hope everybody's having a great day.
Good morning, Dolly.
Kay, you the first person on the Dolly train. All right, Dolly got to eat. Okay, I guess I ain't eating no breakfast. Nobody like me. Okay, nobody like me. I guess I'm gonna have to go in there and cook my own eggs. Right, I had to cook my own damn eggs. I could order out, but it don't look like it's gonna happen. Thank you, Kay. Big virtual hugs to you, and get you a nice window seat. The train empty as hell, so you can sit anywhere you want. Anywhere you want. I see Oregon. Don has been a member for, it don't say how long. Don, I thought you've already been a member. Okay, hold on. I got some messages coming in. This might be something that blows your mind. Okay. Let's see. Okay, it's a picture of the juror lawyer. Okay. All right. Here, I'll show you guys who she is. Let me pull her up real fast so y'all can see this woman. All right, this is who she is. Let's share her face real fast. I'll make you famous, like Billy the Kid would say, right? Like Billy the Kid would say. There she is. Victoria George. All right. MB and J. Morgan, Brown, and Joy. Okay. So she's not the boss. She ain't a boss. Okay. She's just part of the law firm. She's just part of it.
Oh, yeah.
She ain't the big dog. Okay. Natalie, thank you for joining. Wave back at you. See your hand come up out the ground right there. So she ain't the big dog. Let's see what else I got up on her. PJ sending me stuff now on this woman. Let's dig up a little bit of who she is. Now, give me 1 second. Let's see what this says. Okay. The article was the chat was asking you to read. Oh, and play the. Oh, and play the glared in what he accidentally said a year ago. This. I don't know what that means, PJ. This is Vanity Fair. Jury summoned for Karen Read. Murder trial outside of Boston, 2024. Graduate who grew up obsessed with the Supreme Court. I've got her JD from Northern University School of Law in Boston. George said she feels a civil obligation to participate. And okay, 34 years, employee lawyer, already served on 2 prior juries and acted as a 4-person. George had heard about Read, the Massachusetts woman who was all over the Boston media as a prime suspect of the mysterious 2022 death of her Boston police officer boyfriend, John O'Keefe. Okay. Attorney Michael Morrissey charged the then 42-year-old with second-degree murder, manslaughter, blah, 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 blah. You know, SUV. Okay, we know all that. George, who joined Read's legal team on Wednesday, was too busy caring for her 2 small child and grieving her mother, who died in 2023, to pay much attention and was therefore qualified as a juror. I don't believe that. I was qualified as a juror because I thought the state was going to give her a free trial, she told Vanity Fair. Before she joined the team, I've been trying to continue to believe in justice for a while. Free Karen Read. Okay. After she drove past the Free Karen Read billboard outside Gillette Stadium, she told Norfolk County Supreme Court Judge Bev to make sure she was on the up and up. The court assured her she was. Okay. To me, it. All right, let's see. What else is there, PJ, that you wanted me to play? Oh, okay. Here we go. I got it.
And those of us.
All right. Let me blow this up.
Is a very, very.
All right. Hold on. Shit, I got so much shit open. All right. Here we go. I don't know what this is you sent me, PJ, but I'm going to play it.
Here, most of us believe that Karen Read is guilty. Karen Read is guilty. Karen Read is guilty. Want justice for John O'Keefe. And those of us here, most of us, believe that Karen Read is guilty.
He said that a year ago. I agree with him. That's the first time I've agreed with him in a long time. Karen Read is guilty.
Karen Read is guilty. Karen Read is guilty. We are all here because of the John O'Keefe Karen Read case. We want justice for John O'Keefe.
I guess this is before he got on the lap of Turtle Boy, because, you know, like I said in the beginning, Baby Gap don't care about Karen Read, right? He don't care about police, any of that. Was just something you thought were funny.
And those of us here, most of us, believe that Karen Read is guilty. Karen Read is guilty. Karen Read is guilty. We are.
I agree. I agree that she's guilty. I don't agree with that guy much, but I agree on that. So, you know, that just shows you right there that he was quick to jump on Turtle Boy's lap, because, you know, that's what brought in views to his channel. If you was on the free Karen Read team and I would have been in the beginning and been like, Karen Read's innocent, oh my God, don't do this to Karen Read, I'd have thousands of them Kool-Aid drinking ass people in here right now. But sometimes you got to go against the system and be honest with your viewers and say, hey, listen, most of the evidence points to this lady. You know, she's not a good person. I could understand if they were defending somebody that was a soccer mom and, you know, was relatable. Karen Read is not relatable. She ain't a soccer mom. She don't want kids. She's a hoochie, right? That was trying to cheat on a man, didn't like his kids, talking crazy to him. You know, I hate you. You're a perv. You know, that's the last thing she left on his message was, I hate you. I hate you. Not, I'm mad at you, baby. Where you at? Come home. I miss you. I'm sorry we were arguing. None of that stuff. She actually said, I hate you. You're a piece of shit. I hate you. This is the woman that people are defending. Okay? Make it make sense to me. All right? Make it make sense to me why somebody would defend. I understand there's police corruption, but not on that scale. They're making it like the first responders are corrupt, the police are corrupt, the coroner's corrupt, the judge is corrupt, the prosecutors are corrupt. The only person that's honest in that whole damn town is Karen Read. The only honest. We love you, Karen. We love you. You don't even know the woman. Okay? It'd be a cold day in hell. I tell somebody I don't know I love them. I love you, Karen. We love you, Karen. Why don't they say, we feel bad for you, Karen? Hope everything goes okay, Karen. We love you, Karen. What the fuck is that? What is that? Okay, the lady don't. If you was on fire, she wouldn't piss on you. Okay, she wouldn't put down her $1,000 purse to help you. You think she would? I don't think so. Right? You think she's gonna do? You think she'd help an old lady cross the street? Hell no. She'd be like, get out of the way, bitch. Get in my way. I got a lunch date.
Karen Read is guilty. Smiley face emoji. Say it again, baby.
Karen Read's guilty. I believe. Right? Now listen, I ain't trying to force my beliefs on any of you guys. If you think she's innocent, that's perfectly fine with me. I just came up here to discuss my opinion this morning because I just felt like sharing a little bit. I was up, want to drink some coffee, share a little bit of my opinion. You know, if you think she's innocent, more power to you. I'm just trying to, you know, maybe open your mind a little bit to who you're defending, right? Who you're defending. Now, if she was a good person, like I said, a soccer mom, and didn't say all those things, maybe I could back her if she was relatable. If she was a woman that was middle class, you know, worked hard, in a bad situation, maybe then. But, you know, I feel so sorry for this rich lady driving her SUV in reverse at 24 miles an hour while she takes money from everybody, while she eats at 5-star restaurants and lives staying in a 5-star hotel, banging her attorney. That's who I'm supposed to feel sorry. I love you, Karen. I love you. Get the hell out of here. And then, you know, you got all these fake ass people like Turtle Boy, the Baby Gap, right? They don't give a shit. This is a money-making opportunity for them. They done turned this into the words of Chief Hatley. a money-making circus. That's what it is. Okay? If y'all want to see what a money-making circus looks like, watch the Karen Read trial. Because that's exactly what it is. It turned into one huge ass grift. That's it. You got Turtleboy selling free Karen Read shirts and don't give her any of the money. Right? He said it. I couldn't even believe it. I was like, you're going to literally sell shirts that say free Karen Read and she don't get $1 of that money? Oh, I forgot she's paying Turtleboy too. You know, that Lexus that he drives. You know, I think that's going to come out in court. This DMV evidence that they got is going to be about them giving Turtleboy that Lexus. Okay. So, you know, they're paying people to harass witnesses. She's covered up the crime, tried to hide her vehicle, delete the tape from John's house, mean to the kids when she's leaving, mean to John's mother, and people support this lady. I love you, Karen. Insane, insane. Her family, which got plenty of money, was telling people, well, do without, skip a meal, give, keep giving. Right? While you see them, while they're drinking champagne and eating steak, they want you to skip a meal. Right? Well, maybe if you wasn't spending all your money on sell some of them clothes, right? Sell some of that shit you got. And pay for your own damn attorney. So she got these people brainwashed as she milks the shit out of them. That's what a cult leader does. Okay? That's what they separate you from people, normal people, because they don't want you to believe the other shit. They separate you. They huddle together, and then they give up everything they got. They just give it up. Here you go. Take my house. Take my car. Here's my Social Security check, Karen. I love you, Karen. Here's my disability check, Karen. Here's my winnings from bingo, right? What's up, Captain Kirk? I was watching Captain Kirk just the other night. I was watching you discuss the whole Upchurch stuff with, you know, the whole battle of the rednecks is what I like to call it, right? But good stream, man. I actually enjoyed it. Church a real dude, man. I enjoy watching that stuff, and you know, I see them, you know, not to get off topic too bad, but I wouldn't listen to none of this country rap shit if it wasn't for church, right? And there's a few of them I like out there, not a whole lot of them, but there's one in particular. I like FJ Outlaw. Okay, FJ Outlaw is probably one of my favorites, and he runs with them a little bit, you know. And I can remember when Church was taken up for FJ Outlaw when he was on that label, and Church was like, "Yo," but I noticed he's going to be at the Redneck Rave, right? And I don't really like what's the fucking dude with the beard? Who the fuck is Justin Time or whatever his name is? I don't know. But I like FJ Outlaw. I wouldn't mind going to see FJ Outlaw. Okay. I'm totally sidetracked right now because I was on the Karen Read stuff. But yeah, I like FJ Outlaw. I like Church. What other dudes do I like out there? There ain't many. There's just a couple. If it ain't Slayer, Pantera, you know, Full Blown Chaos, Sworn Enemy, Madball, Sick of It All. I don't listen to a lot of country rap, but I like Church. I like FJ Outlaw. Like I said, there's a couple few. I don't listen to a lot of country music either. So a little bit, but not a ton. FJ will only get 6 minutes on stage, 2 songs. It's so lame. Justin as a joke. Okay, there you go, Captain Kirk. Yeah, but that's the only dude I've seen up there in the little rave party they're having that I thought was worth my time was FJ Outlaw. So anyway, Karen Read guilty as shit, okay? And people need to stop drinking the Kool-Aid. That's what it is. All right. And that Kool-Aid up there in Massachusetts is really damn good. You like Upchurch? I think, Upchurch, I think I like, see, when I first came across Upchurch, it wasn't because of his music. I kind of like Upchurch's humor. Like, I like his regular videos where he's just talking, and he sometimes he says some wild shit, right? He says some wild shit. It make you be like, what the hell did he just say? Right? Or the way he comes up with shit. I enjoy that. But from that, it turned me on to his music. You know what I'm saying? And good dude. Real, like, some of these people let that shit go to their head. Like, they want to be famous. Right? And then you got people that are famous that don't even really care. They're like normal dudes. And you don't see that much, right? Usually when people get all this money, they get all fucking bougie, like Karen Read, okay? Prime example. Walking around, $3,000 outfits, wouldn't piss on you if you was on fire, right? Difference, like Church, if he walked by a homeless dude, I think Church would reach in his pocket, give him some money, right? Matter of fact, he's reached in his pocket and gave me some money, broke my broke ass. So I know he would help people, right? That's the difference. Like, that's why I tell people, if you was relatable, I could see people backing you. That's why Church has so much support, because us country boys can relate to that shit, right? He's relatable. He's like one of us. Karen Read? Oh, hell no. Hell no, right? Hell no. Thank you, Cable. That's nice of you. Jump on the dollar train, okay? It's a little bumpy. We got a little sidetrack. Captain Kirk, it's your fault. I'm blaming you. But, I hear Church is going on tour, so hopefully he comes back around here. I seen him when he was in Richmond. Was a really good show. Had a good time. A lot of damn people. So I'm going to be in Boston when this trial kicks off, me and PJ, live, covering this, and hopefully the cult don't get me, okay? If I come up missing, start searching Waco, okay? Start in Texas, search Waco. You never know. They could be affiliated with the Branch Davidians. I don't know. David Koresh, right? You got Tom. He looks like the damn dude from Heaven's Gate, okay? I ain't lying. If y'all ever seen Tom CPU, and then y'all look at the cult leader from Heaven's Gate, them fuckers could be brothers, okay? If all the turtle riders end up dead, we know what happened, okay? I learned one thing from Jim Jones. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, okay? Do not drink the Kool-Aid, ever. Don't, no public, you can drink the Kool-Aid if you make it, okay? Like if I go in the kitchen to make some Kool-Aid, I can drink that Kool-Aid. But if I show up somewhere and you try to hand me a glass of Kool-Aid, hell to the nah. That ain't happening, okay? You ain't getting me that easy, okay? You are not getting me that easy. I done seen what some Kool-Aid can do to motherfuckers, right? It can take the whole crew out. We just ain't having it. We just ain't having it. And that man came up to me in Boston and he tried to give me a piece of candy. No lie. Right? And he's lucky I didn't hear it. Okay. He is just so lucky I didn't hear him offer me that piece of candy. Because that shit is fighting words to me. There's some things you don't do when you a grown-ass man, unless it's Halloween. You don't offer another dude candy. Not a dude that's been locked up. I've been locked up. You leave some candy on my bunk, or you come up and be like, hey, you want this piece of candy? We fighting. Okay, it's go time at that point. I'm headbutting, I'm biting you in the face like fucking The Walking Dead. It ain't going down like that, little creepy ass old man, right? So it kind of, I walked away. I didn't hear him say it, and then the chat was like, "Dolly, that dude just offered you a piece of candy," right? And I was like, "What? Right?" The cult leader himself, right? He was trying to, hell no, right? I think, we seen Baby Gap and Turtleboy, right? We seen them. We seen what they were doing. They're playing ass grab, and pointing aggressively. I felt like they were pointing aggressively that aggressively pointing stuff. You got to watch it, right? That's how people get killed, according to Karen Read supporters. You start playing a little bit of ass grab, somebody's going to die next. That's their logic. Okay, you play around in a bar. Look, they were getting ready to preparing. They were warming up for a fight. They were playing around in a bar, drinking, like being dudes, right? But it's okay when Baby Gap and Turtle Boy play ass grab. But when the cops play ass grab, oh my God, they were preparing to kill somebody. Look at them. They're warming up for a fight for no reason to kill one of their friends, a fellow officer, right? I always heard these police stick together. Why would they kill John O'Keefe? No motive whatsoever to kill him. Now they're trying to say Colin Albert killed John O'Keefe because he threw a beer can in his yard. And then they're trying to say that Higgins killed John because he wanted to be with Karen. Well, if he wanted to be with Karen, all he had to go over do was go hit that. She was ready to spread them legs open quick as she could. She was ready to get in all kind of pretzel positions. Like, he didn't have to kill John to hit that. Everybody on the football team could have hit that, right? All the police in the house, they could have tag teamed that. That was free. She was giving that away, right? She was just giving that booty away. What's up, crew? Let's just say today is Turtle Island. Woo woo! Yeah, Turtle Island tonight, 10 o'clock. All right, somebody has to go home. All right, somebody has to go home. Gross. I mean, let's be real. That's what she was doing. She didn't want to be a family woman. She wanted to be free. She wanted to party. She wanted to drink. The only reason she wanted to go over to John's house that night was because she didn't want to sit at home by herself, right? Because she probably fucking can't stand herself. Me, I like a little bit of peace and quiet. I enjoy it. I love me, right? I just go standing there and look in the mirror and be like, hope it don't break, right? This woman probably can't even stand herself. She probably don't even like to hear herself talk. She's probably an asshole to herself. So you heard her get mad at John in 2 minutes. She said she sat in that car in 2 minutes. She was mad. 2 minutes. Not 10 minutes. Not 5 minutes. 2 minutes. She was pissed off, ready to go, gassing it. In 2 minutes. If that lady had a fork in her hand and you pissed her off, she would stab both your eyeballs out. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. She'd stab you right in the eyeballs. And you know this, if she does get off, all these people that defended her, she ain't gonna have shit to do with them people. Nothing. Ever again. She's gonna like back off peasants, right? Because if she gets off, of course, comes the book deals, the movie deals, all that stuff, right? The millions of dollars start coming in. She's not going to pay these people any mind. Once she's free, she's using people right now, okay? That's all she's doing is using and abusing, and that's what she was doing with John. That's it, right? He was like the trophy husband boyfriend. Oh, I'm dating this cop. He's a good dude. But she really didn't give two shits about John O'Keefe. So how can these people stand out there with signs and say justice for John O'Keefe when that woman didn't give a shit about John O'Keefe? She don't care about him now. Okay? She can't even fake it. She can't even lie. Like, at least lie, bitch. Okay? Make us believe you care. You ain't even trying. Right? She can be like, I love John so much. I miss him. You never hear that. Okay? Never see a tear. Don't give a damn. Boo his mama, F his family. What the hell? Right? Like, listen, I do something wrong. Everybody better support me. If they rally, hundreds of people are rallying behind this woman, I ever get in trouble, everybody better have my back. Okay? That's all I'm saying. If you can be a piece of shit and get that much support, then holy hell. Okay? Now, when I did get locked up in Georgia, I did have a lot of support. The troops did come out for me. You never know who's watching your channel. You know, there was a rich woman, you know, she's a millionaire and she was watching and she happened to be own a bond company and seen my ass get locked up. And she said, not today, Satan, get Dolly out. Right. And I had no bond. So I know this. That lady had some pull. Okay. That lady had some pull because I was sitting there with no bond. No bond. No bond. 10 minutes later, get your shit. Hurry up. You got to get out of jail. So thank God for the blonde bombshell. But look, you in Savannah, you go to jail, call the blonde bombshell. Tell her Dolly sent you. Okay. Pet Ruby for me, her bulldog. She got a bulldog named Ruby. Dog is loaded. Okay. The dog got more money than me. Okay. The dog is like filthy rich, driving around in a Bentley. Pet the dog for me. Tell her to get you out. She'll get you out. Okay. That's all I know. She personally called the dude and was like, at the jail, was like, let Dolly out. Bam. I'm out. They were like, you ain't getting out till Monday when you go to court. Well, they didn't even say that. You go to court Monday. So I was getting ready to camp out for the weekend, you know, with the gang members. Georgia is loaded with gangs, boy. Savannah, they had me in a bullpen. It was like some Bloods. And I was just like, they were cool though. They didn't bother me none, you know. They were just curious to where I was from and who I was, right? Not threatening at all. But I was looking around like, damn, this is like gang territory, right? You think Georgia, you like where I'm at in the city here is kind of country-ish. It's city, but a little bit of country. There ain't a whole lot of gangs in Virginia, right? I mean, people are crazy and they'll kill you. They don't really got to be in a gang, right? But Georgia was loaded with gang members. I was like, damn, ain't none of them got away because they were all in jail, right? I was like, damn, this whole pod is loaded with damn gang members. And then when I got out, they were looking at me like, well, who the hell is this white boy, right? Like, who the hell, right? Because everybody goes to court Monday. That's what they were telling me, like, little man, we don't know how Virginia works, but around here, you sit until Monday. And I ain't sitting till Monday. Y'all might be sitting to Monday, but Dolly leaving. Okay. They were staring me down like, what the hell? I didn't even know, but I wasn't going to argue, right? I wasn't going to argue the fact. I got the hell up out of Dodge as quick as I could. All right. I was like, all right, it's time to go. Let's get going. So, yeah, you never know who's watching your stream and how powerful people are. And I guess, you know, there's rules but those things are meant to be broken, and powerful people can pull strings, right? And it goes into buying people's freedom, right? You got enough money, you walk, okay? Like if I'd have been broke and it's been a regular person down there, you think I'd have got out of jail? Shit, I might still be sitting there. But with the right people, the right connections, 15 minutes, I was out of jail. No bond to get out. Never have I ever in my life been kicked out of a jail. Thank God for YouTube, right? Thank God for YouTube, baby. Things have changed. Things have changed these days. Dolly buy his freedom, okay? Dolly will buy his freedom. I'm walking, bitches, right? I'm walking. You know, I never even went to court. Never went to court either. That just shows you that you can buy your freedom. I mean, I didn't murder nobody, right? But still, it was just a matter of grease a few pockets, okay? Pay the lawyer, buy the judge some golf clubs, feed that lady's dogs, and bam. I mean, you never even stepped foot back in Georgia. I went back for Leilani's trial, but that's the only time I walked up into a courthouse. I never seen a judge, nothing, not shit. And so many people on the internet were like, Dolly's going to jail. I knew I wasn't going to jail. My lawyer said, yeah, you don't even got to worry about that. You got my money? And I was like, give me some time. Give me some time. I'm going to have that shit, right? And then, you know, like I said, that dude, the lawyer, was friends with the bondsman that got me out. She hooked me up with the lawyer. The lawyer is like one of the best lawyers in Georgia. And I never even had to show back up. That shit was crazy. So Karen Read the same way. Like, we don't know whose pockets she's greased, right? If you pay the right people, they make things happen for you, right? They just, how they do it, who knows, right? I got in some trouble in Virginia, and a dude told me, he said, and this was because I used to be in a band, okay? And a big fight broke out in a bar, and this dude tried to hit me with a pool stick. But what he did is he made a mistake, because I had a guitar in my hand. And I smacked this dude upside the head with a guitar. Bad. It was bad. It was bad. Okay. So I'm looking at prison time. All right. Because I'm charged with malicious wounding with intent to maim, disfigure, or kill. All right. That was my charge. Guidelines said I was going to prison. All right, found guilty. I'm going to, not jail, going to prison. All right. So I was like, I knew this lady that worked for a civil attorney, which files lawsuits against people like me for hitting you in the head with a guitar. Okay. And she went to her boss, the head attorney there, was talking to him, and he wanted to talk to me. Right. So he calls me up. And he's like, look, I'm a civil attorney. I'm the dude that would sue you for hitting him in the head, right? You know what I'm saying? For everything you got, right? He goes, but listen, I've been in law in this area for like 35 years or something like that. He goes, if you have no criminal record, not a bad criminal record, guidelines are you're going to do 2 to 5 years in prison. And I'm thinking, I don't want to do no time in prison. He goes, but if you got $5,000, okay, and you hit up this lawyer, you'll do 6 months in jail. Okay. 6 months sounds like a long time. It don't quite sound like 2 to 5 years, right? For $5,000. He goes, but if you got $10,000, you won't do a day in jail if you get this lawyer, right? That's what he tells me on the phone. He said, you won't do a day in jail. He goes, this lawyer's dad is a Supreme Court judge. I've seen him get people off for shooting people, selling kilos of crack cocaine. He goes, if you can afford this lawyer, you won't do a day in jail. I love this story because he's a little Jewish guy named Leon Sarfan. Okay. And he's like, I promise you, if you can afford him, you won't do a day in jail. So I'm thinking, okay, let me go meet this guy, right? Because I didn't have his money. I didn't have $10,000, right? I didn't have $10,000 at the time. And this goes into the Karen Read buy your freedom kind of thing, what good lawyers can do for you. So at this point, I had a public defender, okay, which was telling me, kiss my kid, pay my bills. I'm going to do 2 to 5 years in prison. That's what my public defender told me. You're going to prison, dude. I was like, damn, ain't no you getting off of it. And I was defending myself. This dude tried to hit me with a pool stick, right? And I hit him first because he reared back with his pool stick. So to me, I was defending myself. So I go to this little old man, and he's in this nice ass office, glass walls and shit, right? Gold faucets and this nice. Just like you can tell this dude is just money, right? Little old Jewish man. And he's like, all right, tell me what happened. And I start telling him, hey, I'm in this band. And he's like, well, what kind of music do you play? And I was like, well, it's kind of like extreme metal. Like, he's like, and this dude was like 60, right? He's like, like Pantera? I couldn't believe it, right? I was like, yeah, like Pantera, right? So I was like, yeah, exactly. He goes, okay. And a big fight broke out. And I was like, yeah, a big ass fight. The whole bar started fighting. And you were defending yourself, right? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, so when the guy came at you, you hit him. And I was like, yeah. Right? So I'm just like, yeah. And the crazy thing was, he was like, now, you know, a case like this is from $10,000 to $20,000, right? That's what he told me right off the rip, $10,000 to $20,000. He was like, and look, I had court in 2 days. In 2 days, I had court. When I went to meet him, I had court in 2 days. And he said, how much money you got on you? And I had $3,000. Okay, I had $3,000. He's like, let me get that. Boop. Right? He's like, let me get that $3,000, right? He goes, look, he turns around in his chair. He picks up his phone. He calls the prosecutor, like they're buddies or some shit, right? He goes, I just picked up this case. I'm going to need 8 months to prepare for the case. So we need to push it back a year. I mean, in a phone call, right? I had court in 2 days. He just pushed my court back a year. All right. Then he turns around, picks up his other phone because he had 2 phones office, grabs the other phone, calls the public defender's office, right? Gets the lawyer on the phone, fires him. Okay. You're fired. I represent him now. All right. Peace. Boot, right? Looks at me. He goes, you got a year to get my money. Don't worry about going to jail. You ain't going to jail. That's exactly how it went down. And then I looked at him. I said, how do you know who Pantera is? Right? That's what I asked him. I swear to you. I said, how do you know who Pantera is? He said, oh, my granddaughter, she's into metal. And I always buy her concert tickets or something like that. And this is what was crazy. She said her favorite band is As I Lay Dying. Right? No lie. Listen, I looked at him. I said, guess what? I'm opening up for As I Lay Dying next week. So I'll give you some tickets to the show that you can give to your granddaughter. He's like, okay. Right? So it was just crazy, right? But that's how he knew who Pantera was. I never did a day in jail, right? He pushed my court date back 3 years. I went to court 3 years later. 3 years later. Okay. But then, you know, it went on so long. So you're like, yeah, I'm free. But when it got close 3 years later, I was like, oh shit. Oh, you know, I'm facing prison time. And, but anyway, the more of the story was they dropped it to misdemeanor assault because I was defending myself. And they gave me 100 hours community service. Now, it was worth the money. It took me a little over a year to pay them because I would just like break a little bit out of my paycheck each week. You know what I'm saying? Put it to the side because I had a year. So, and then I just pay them in payments. And I think somewhere around, I don't know, 15 grand. But I never served a day in jail. Not a day. And like I said, he drug it out 3 years. And then finally, the dude was like, did I hit? He walked up to me and said, man, you know, to be honest, I'm just glad this is over. I was like, me too, dude. Me too. Like, you couldn't have dropped this shit 3 years ago. Like, you know, like, and he knew he started the fight, but he damn sure wasn't going to walk up in the court and say he did. Right? Because he ran up with a pool stick. He was drawing it back and he got the shit smacked out of him. I mean, it is what it is. But it goes into the buying your freedom. Like, if you got enough money and you got powerful attorneys, but see, I didn't kill him. You know, if I'd have killed him, of course, my ass would have been going to prison. But I didn't. He made it. I mean, he did take a little trip to the hospital, you know, for a couple of days. but he was okay. He had a little scar. It was like, I don't know, about like that, so, and I didn't hit him with an acoustic guitar either. I hit him with an electric guitar. So it's almost like hitting somebody with a bat. You know what I'm saying? But I always say this now, don't bring a pool stick to a guitar fight. Okay. Don't do it. It don't work good for you. It don't work good. But, I did my 100 hours of community service at a thrift store. Right. That was ran by Satan. This church guy, he was a preacher, and he had to be the evilest, sorriest person I have ever met in my whole entire life. I would even tell my probation officer, I was like, this dude is a piece of shit. She's like, you better do your community service. I'll give you 100 more hours. Right. And I was like, this dude is like working with Satan. He was a weirdo that was in prison for messing with like kids. And then he got out and he started running the halfway house. And then he started running the thrift store. And it was like people that would get out of prison would have to go live at the halfway house. And then they would have to work at the thrift store. Right. And this dude was a scumbag, right? Right. So I show up one day. This is bad. I don't know why I'm even telling you guys this, right? So I show up to do my community service, and it's early in the morning. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning. I wake up, still got coals in my eye. I grab a t-shirt, I throw it on. It's summertime. I show up at the church. I was wearing, for you guys that listen to metal or know about metal, I was wearing a Slayer t-shirt. Okay. Now it didn't have anything bad on it. It just said Slayer. Okay. In big red letters, it said Slayer. So I'm getting out of my car. I'm standing there. And this, like I said, this preacher dude starts running out the building screaming at me. He's like, you're a devil worshiper. You Satanist. Right. And I'm like, I'm still waking up. Right. I'm still waking up. I'm like, what the hell is this dude screaming about? Right. He's like, you're satanic. You're satanic. Right. And I'm looking at him like, what the hell has this dude been smoking? Right. He's like, and then, you know how I'm a little bit of a smart ass, right? I'm a little bit of a smart ass. And he goes, you're satanic. And I was like, look, man, I'm not satanic. He's like, well, your shirt is, right? That's where he fucked up. Okay. Because he said my shirt was satanic. Okay. And I looked at this preacher dude and I told him, I said, when I take this shirt off at night, I've never seen it worship the devil. Oh my God. That was the wrong shit to say. I want you on my property. I'm calling your PO. You're going back to prison, right? And I said, dude, I'm not facing prison time, right? Oh, get off my property. I'm calling the police, right? So listen, I'm not going to prison, right? I'm not even facing prison time. I got 100 hours of community service to do. That's it. He thought he was holding prison over my head. You're going back to prison, right? I was like, I've never been to prison, right? And my shirt's not satanic. It don't worship the devil, all right? I mean, it's a fucking shirt. So he did call my PO, right? He calls my PO. And so I go in the PO office and I got this big ass black woman. Like, I mean, black women don't find shit funny. They ain't into comedy. They ain't into none of that shit. Okay. I walked into this office and this lady was just like waiting like this. And she's like, what the hell did you do? I'm like, what? I ain't do nothing. I'm like Scooby-Doo. I'm like, oh, you know what I'm saying? She's like, you showed up at that church with some vulgar stuff on your shirt. And I was like, no, it wasn't vulgar. Right. And she's like, what was you wearing? And I was like, well, I was wearing a t-shirt that said Slayer on it. And she's like, is that a devil band? And I was like, no, no. It's no worse than, NWA. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to throw out rappers because maybe she knows who some rappers are, right? I'm just trying. No, it's no different. It's just music. It's just entertainment, And she's like, I'm gonna tell you what. You keep fucking playing, right? You think things are funny. She's like, you will do another 100 hours of community service, right? Because she couldn't put me in jail because I didn't face jail time, right? So what she could do is give me more community service. And I was like, and I didn't even think she could do that. I was like, I don't think you can do that. And she's like, well, you ain't gonna tell me what I can do, right? And I was like, I mean, are you a judge? Okay, but you a judge? Like the judge said I got to do 100-hour community service. He didn't say I had to do 300 hours of community service, right? She's like, you're gonna apologize to that man. And I was like, I ain't apologizing shit. I ain't do nothing, right? She's like, I'm gonna tell you this. You show back up there wearing something obscene, is what she said. Obscene. Like I was wearing a 2 Live Crew shirt with bitches twerking or something, right? I don't know, right? She's like, if you wear something again, I promise you, I'm going to give you another 100 hours of community service. And I was like, oh, whatever, but I didn't show back up with a Slayer shirt on, of course. I had to wake up in the morning and check to make sure what I was wearing was okay. And it was a nightmare. The dude was a piece of shit. Like, I ain't never want God to strike somebody down with lightning so bad, The crazy thing about the whole Slayer shirt is the singer is an ordained minister. He ain't even satanic. The guitar player in the band is a Satanist, okay? But the singer, he's actually an ordained minister and does it for a paycheck. That's what he says. He says it's entertainment, it's music, and his belief is he can sing about Satan and still go to church. I mean, that's what he said. Look it up, right? He ain't in Slayer anymore, but at the time he was an ordained minister. And I'm just like, but basically never wear a Slayer shirt to a church. Okay. Long story short. Stop that, Jimmy. You should have brought some of her some. No. The lady was, believe it or not, she was pretty cool. She didn't understand that it was just music, right? She thought I wore something really bad, and it was just it wasn't bad at all. It didn't have pentagrams on it. It just said Slayer in big bold writing, right? And nothing else was on it. No, nothing. It just said Slayer. And here's the thing about it is, at some point that preacher had to listen to Slayer, at some point. And he wasn't even like a real preacher. He was like a prison preacher, right? So, dude, you was in prison, bro. You know what I'm saying? You were in prison. And I heard he was in prison for messing with kids. Right, that's what I heard. Now, I don't know exactly what he was in prison for, but that's what all the people that were there that had. See, the difference was if you was in the halfway house and he kicked you out, you went back to prison. So while everybody was at the thrift store, he would be saying this hateful shit to people. And if they said anything or didn't do exactly what he said, when he said it, he'd be like, I'll send you back to prison. He threw that in everybody's face. Like, I'll send you back to prison. I'll send you back to prison. So everybody was so scared of this guy. And it was, to me, he was a grifter, right? Like, just a grifter, dude. I don't know. Everybody that says they're religious in this world are not God's people. Okay? Like, I was just thinking to myself, man, you better hope I don't ever bump into you when I get this 100 hours of community service over with, right? I was thinking I hit the wrong person with the guitar is what I was thinking. I was like, I hit the wrong dude. You know what I'm saying? All that. And that's how it ended. But 3 years later, I'm working at a damn thrift store. So I'd said, but I never went to jail. I hit a guy with a guitar in a bar. He was trying to hit me with a pool stick. He ran up to swing the pool stick. When he did, I said, bow. and just popped him with the guitar, and it dropped him. Boop boop. And they arrested me. Well, actually, they arrested my guitar player. Okay, put him in jail with no bond. so this is how this went down. This is even crazier. So the dude gets hit with the guitar, right? And they arrest my guitar player thinking he hit him, right? So I walk up to the police at the club, honest as can be, and said, look, he didn't hit him. I hit him. He ran up on me with a pool stick, and I hit him. The cop looked at me and said, well, they're saying he did it. I said, well, he didn't. I did. I mean, calm, just like that. Just as calm as could be. I said, I did. He goes, well, he's going to jail. And if you don't get in your car and leave right now, you're going to jail too. Right? Because I was defending myself. You know, watch the video. It's on video. The club got cameras. But that's what he said. So I got in my car and I left. Right? I got in my car and left, right? Because somebody had to be out to try to get my guitar player out of jail, right? So I go down there. His bond is $25,000. So I put up enough money to bond him out of jail. But what I didn't know was when I walked into the jail, the guy that I hit woke up in the hospital and said, hey, he didn't hit me. Dolly did. Okay. So he took out felony warrants for me for malicious wounding. So when I walked into the police station, I was warranted. Okay. A warranted man, a fugitive from the law. Okay. So I walked in, talked to them, because in Virginia, we got magistrates. So I talked to the magistrate, said, I want to bond my buddy out of jail. I got the money put up to get him out. So he had done been in jail because he had no bond. So I had to get a lawyer to get him a bond hearing. So I had to pay his lawyer, right? Because I got him locked up. He didn't even do nothing. He's sitting in jail because of me, right? I mean, he didn't do nothing. He didn't hit nobody, right? So I hire a lawyer. The lawyer's like, I can probably get him a bond here in under a week. Okay. And the jail he's sitting in is a pretty bad jail. Okay. So I'm like, all right. So he gets him a bond hearing. He gets a bond. His bond is $25,000. So I walk in and bond him out of jail. All right. I leave. They don't realize that I'm wanted in the city and let me bond him out of jail. So my baby's mama, Tiffany's mom, she wants something from Mickey D's. Okay. And I'm like, she's like, will you run up and get me like a cheeseburger and like, I don't know, a milkshake or something. Can't remember quite what it was. So at this time I had a little low ride BMW. I was driving a little BMW. I pull up into the drive-thru. This shit, I'll never forget this. This was bad. This was bad. So I pull up in this Mickey D's and it's right in my neighborhood, right? I pull up, I'm ordering my food, and there's this young black girl. And all of a sudden, she runs up and she slams the window and locks it, right? And I'm looking at her like, what the hell is she doing, right? And as I turn, there's a gun in my face, right? Because I had my passenger window down. And I thought she was thinking I was going to rob her or something. And she shut the window and locked it real fast. But what I didn't see was this lady reach in with a gun and have the gun straight in my face, like it touching my, almost damn near touching my face. Because I'm looking this way. When I look back, this gun is right in my face. And it's a woman cop. And she's leaned through the window of my car with her gun out. And she's going, turn the car off, right? And I'm like, oh shit, right? And as she's got the gun on me, the SWAT team is surrounding the car. I'm like, Oh shit. I mean, my whole heart dropped. I was like, oh my God, this ain't good. This ain't good, right? So she's like, turn the car off, right? So I turn the car off and I hand her the keys, and now she's backing up away from the car, which now that's really scaring me. Like, why are you backing up, right? So she has the keys to the car is off, sitting right in the drive-thru of Mickey D's. I'm right at the window. And now the SWAT team has surrounded the car, and they're giving like orders, stick your hands out the window, put your hands out the window. And I'm thinking, oh Lord, I hope this dude didn't die, right? So I got my hands out the window. You know, they're like, open the door, open the door. So I'm opening the door. They're like, step out the vehicle, step out the vehicle. So they tell me to walk behind the car, right? Back up, keep walking backwards, lace your fingers, right? And I'm like, oh Lord, so I'm walking, got my, you know what I'm saying, walking backwards. They're like, get on your knees. But here's the problem. They tell me to lay on the ground, but there's like an oil slick, like somebody's car had been leaking oil, and it was hot. It was like burning hot, right? They're like, lay on your stomach. So I lay down, and the ground is the grease, the oil, like the motor oil is burning me on the ground. This lady, okay, she comes up and she dropped a knee on my neck, okay, like right on my fucking neck. When she did it, I heard every bone in my back, like all the way from my neck to my back crack. Right? And now they're on me, like the whole fucking SWAT. Boo! Knees in my back, hold my legs down. Oh my God. So look, she cuffs me up. This woman snatches me to my feet, right? She spins me around, like face to face with her. She goes, never forget what she says. She said, you been to Newport News? Right? And I said, yeah. She goes, well, then you know why you're going to jail, right? Walks me to the police car. So at this point, I don't know what I'm charged with. I have no clue, right? I know it can't be good because they just knee dropped the shit out of me and brought the SWAT team to Mickey D's to arrest me. What? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, holy shit. So I look at the lady and I was like, what am I going to jail for? Right? And she looks back, she's like, you don't know what you're charged with? And I was like, no. She's like, oh, well, you're charged with malicious wounding, intent to maim, disfigure, or kill. There's a no bond hold on you, right? So you're not getting out of jail. And I'm like, what? She was like, and she was trying to be funny, right? The cop, I guess she had a little bit of sense of humor. She was like, well, if we had been 5 minutes later, you would have got to eat your food, right? Because I had the food. The food was in the car. I didn't get my change because the woman locked the window, right? I had the food. She was like, you would have got to eat your food. And I looked at the lady, I said, the damn food ain't for me, right? The food ain't even for me. The food wasn't even mine. It was for my baby's mom. It's for Tiff's mother, right? I was like, it's for my baby's mom. It ain't even my food. Right? Like, I don't even know why. I just had to play. It wasn't mine, right? Like, you know? So this lady's like, okay, well, we got to pull off, right? And I live right there. She's like, goes and knocks on the door, that pulls up to my house, knocks on the door. My baby's mom comes to the door. She hands her the food. Okay. Hands her the food, says, your man's going to jail with no bond. All right. So she comes back. She gets in the car. She drives me to the jail, right? So she drives me to the jail. They take me into jail. And, you know, here, Virginia, we have magistrates. Well, it's like a sitting judge that you go in front of, and they give you a bond, or they hold you with no bond. I was under a no bond hold, which means I can't get out of jail. But they take you in front of a bondsman anyway. So I get in front of the bondsman. I tell the bondsman, I said, look, a guy ran up on me with a pool stick. I hit him. They arrested my friend for it and charged him with it. And Now they're charging me with it. So the dude, the magistrate, so he's like, so your friend's in jail for something he didn't even do? And I was like, no, I bonded him out. Right? And the magistrate goes, you bonded him out, wanted? And I said, yeah, I didn't know I was wanted. Right? So I went to the courthouse and bonded him out. He's out of jail. The magistrate goes, well, what was his bond? I said, well, his bond was $25,000. He goes, now look, I'm going to look at your criminal record. He goes, if you ain't been in any trouble, I don't see no reason to keep you. He looks at my criminal record. I ain't got a bad criminal record. He goes, I'm going to set your bond at $25,000. Can you make bond? And I was like, hell yeah, I can make bond. Right? So, because, you know, to a bondsman, that's $2,500. Or if you own property, in Virginia, you can put the property up as an surety, right? So I went to jail, but I didn't stay in jail. I was probably there 45 minutes, 50 minutes at the most. Like, I was out like that. But the story is pretty crazy. I mean, the story's pretty crazy. That's how I ended up with 100 hours of community service. That was it. Because in the end, it was just a misdemeanor assault charge. True statement is very wise. Dolly Vision for president. Woohoo. Love your story. That was story time with Dolly. Okay. That was story time. I hope y'all enjoyed my misery. Okay. I still got it. Like, my neck's still been jacked up ever since then. And that shit happened like 15 years ago. Okay. 15, 20 years ago. And yeah, I ain't been in no trouble like that since then, you know. And that was a rare thing, right? Like, I ain't a criminal. I don't get in a bunch of trouble. But just that night, you never know really when you're going to have to defend yourself, right? And the crazy thing was, I never did nothing to the guy that tried to hit me with the pool stick. He was actually mad at one of my friends. And the dude was standing behind me, right? For some reason, right? This dude named Chris, right? He was standing behind me. So when he ran up, I was in between them. And it really had nothing to do with me. But when he drew back with that pool stick, I was like, I ain't going to let this dude hit me with this pool stick. There's just no way. And that's how all of that played out. So.
Just cause you're the best.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll use that for canteen next time the SWAT team gets me. Okay. So, yeah, I lucked out, ended up getting out, and, you know, it all worked itself out. Once the truth came out, you know, it took 3 years for the truth to come out that I wasn't the instigator and I was defending myself and all that good shit, right? So I miss his bedtime stories. Love the Dolly adventure stories. I don't know if that was an adventure. I think that was more of a, you know, wrong place at the wrong time kind of situation. And there was a lot of those fights that broke out when we played a bunch of shithole clubs a lot. So there was always fights. It's just I wasn't involved in them. You know, this one, I got caught in the middle of it and ended up, you know, having to defend myself. And that's how it kind of all played out in time. You know what I'm saying? Me, myself, I wish it never would have happened because, like I said, it cost me like almost close to $15,000. And that sucked. Okay. Cause I worked that whole summer just paying that lawyer, just paying that lawyer. On top of it, like we were touring. So it was a hassle because you ain't supposed to leave the state, you know? So every time I wanted to leave, I had to ask this lady, hey, I got to do this and I got to do that. I got to leave the state. And so it all worked out. One day I'll call in and tell Dolly, but his stories are worse. How did I become a juice man and work in the kitchen? Oh, that's a whole different story. I ain't telling that one today. maybe next time I'll tell the how I became the juice man in the jail, right? I had to show you pictures of me during the band days. I got some old pictures somewhere back when I had long hair and shit. Yeah, the crazy days. Yeah, there's. I was a lot fatter too. I started off skinny, and then I guess just the touring and the eating the bar food and drinking, and I got kind of fat, and then I got skinny again, and now I'm getting a little weight on me now, right? Dolly, I have a story for you if you open phone lines. Okay? Open phone lines. Well, I'm getting ready to get up out of here. I didn't plan on you getting so sidetracked and telling that, jail story. But, it kind of rolled into it when you have a lady that's basically, paying out millions of dollars for these high-powered lawyers. She technically should be in jail. But the reason she ain't is because she got these high-powered attorneys. And, she keeps bringing them in. She keeps hiring them. And, I don't think that attorney, though, is going to help this lady. The campaign that she's running with all these people out there screaming with the signs, it makes it hard to pick a fair jury because they got to see these signs, that all these people holding signs that say free Karen Read. And if all these people are saying she's innocent, she must be innocent, right? No, they're just wrong. That many people are wrong about the situation that she's absolutely guilty, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like she was defending herself against a pool stick. She was in a car. He was standing there, and she basically backed over him and knocked him down. He hit his head and he laid there, and she left, and she knew he was there because when they went back, she knew exactly where he was at. Flight number 697 from Long Island, New York. Morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. But thank you guys for tuning in with me to hear about the Karen Read and my damn old ass story from 25. What is it? 20? I think it was 20 years ago. I was like 30. I'm like 50 now. So that was 20 years ago. So for the most part, in the last 20 years, I've been pretty good. Okay. But then again, I don't play music anymore. I ain't touring around. I ain't in nightclubs every night. If you're like in that scene, there's always some chaos. But once, I stopped doing the whole band thing and playing music, I don't hang around them crazy places anymore to watch everybody try to kill each other. Anywhere there's going to be mosh pits, there's going to be fights. And that's just the way it goes. So once the music days were over, a lot of the trouble I was getting into stopped. So most of the trouble I got into was fighting at bars. Fights would break out and shit like that. So once that was done, my getting in trouble days were pretty much done. What bars I played in Virginia? I played at all the bars in Virginia. You name it, from the Peppermint to Bubba's to the Norva. I played the Amphitheater. One show I played with Tesla and Poplar Roach. Okay, believe that? That's crazy, ain't it? The Norva I played a lot. Down here in downtown Norfolk. So I've opened up for a ton of big ass bands, especially at the Norva. That's where we played with As I Lay Dying, was the Norva. So you name it. I played every club in Virginia, right? From Northern Virginia to Roanoke to, we did Carolina, South Carolina, New York, New Jersey, Delaware. I played in a fucking cornfield in Delaware. And I'll share this story with you. So usually when the tour would go off, I'd book the whole tour, right? But I had this drummer and he booked this show in Delaware at a tattoo shop. Okay. So, and I like big clubs, playing with big bands, you know, that I know there's going to be people, right? Because you're traveling, you want to show up. You wanted to be the club to be packed, right? So we pull up at this cornfield, and there's just like nobody there. It's like a little small tattoo shop in the middle of a fucking cornfield in Delaware, right? And I'm looking at my drummer like, dude, man, I knew I shouldn't have let you pick this show. Like, you know, like let you book one show, and you got us in a cornfield at a little rinky-dink tattoo shop, right? So I go in, I meet the tattoo guy, right? And I'm like, you know, just hanging out. And he goes, yeah, we set up on the deck out back, right? So I walk out back. There's this little crusty ass wooden deck. It's like, it looks like some fucking, it's about to cave in, right? So I was like, all right, we got to go get some food. So we leave. We get back in the van. We drive out to cornfields, and we go find some food. So we're gone for a few hours, right? So when we're coming back, I see like some women standing on the side of the road, and they're holding this big ass sign that says party this way, right? And it's pointing down towards the cornfield. So we get out there. I ain't lying. There's like 1,000 fucking people out there. They're literally lighting cars on fire. Okay. Like slinging cinder blocks. They brought cars to destroy. They literally brought these cars to destroy the cars. They're pulling up in like raggedy ass cars so they can catch them on fire. Right. So we're out there. There's fucking cars exploding. There's like 1,000 people out there. Right. It's like, it was the craziest night. I couldn't fucking believe it. Right. Like, it was the wildest party I've probably ever been to in my life. And it was in a cornfield in Delaware. Okay. I remember I was on this playing, and I slung a cinder block through this car windshield. It was like they were pulling the cars up just to catch them on fire and shit. It was like, and no police, no fire department, no nothing. Okay. I mean, just the ragingest party like ever. So that was good times, right? Because I thought it was going to suck. I was all looking at the drummer like, dude, you never get to book a show again. Never. You know, because we're playing big clubs and shit, and to put me in the little cornfield with the children of the corn. But nah, the show was crazy. It was good times. I thought I'd share that. But I gotta go, guys. Y'all be good. Dolly loves you. I'll see you next time. Peace.